What up, YouTube? It's your boy Blingo back here with another video. Hope y'all all been living your truth. Now, listen, man. Kanye West did that interview with Akademiks, man. Looking crazy out here with the big black robe. Hatred all over it. But we're going to react to the video. And before we clicked and watched the video, I had made a video and I said I'm done with Kanye. I said I was done. I'm not reacting to nothing. I don't know what's the biggest scheme or his big plan out of all the stuff that he's doing. I don't agree with what he do or how he do the things that he's trying to do. I don't know what the freak he want to do. But it's do, you know what I'm saying? But he seems like he got a plan. And he did have some decent points in this interview that I think some people are reading wrong. But let's watch the video. Shout out to the video. And let's see what's going on. He breaks it down a little bit.
So Kanye's interview had just came out. A lot of people are reposting it. A lot of people are reacting to it. Like, it's just a lot of like things that he's saying that he's regurgitating that he's already said online. And then he's wearing something that is very, 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 very wrong. But anyways, we already heard about this interview coming out. We've already anticipated it because they've already talked about it for some time now. So we kind of already had a peace of mind of what it was going to be. But the one thing that, like, from the whole thing, because I think Kanye was just rambling at this point. But the one thing that I did want to point out that everybody was talking about online was his reference to the beef, was Kendrick and Drake and the beef that they had and what Kanye was saying about it. It looks like Kanye really, really was jealous of Kendrick Lamar, because in the interview with Akademiks, he decides to say that. He decides to openly just admit that he was jealous of Kendrick Lamar. And it makes a lot of sense.
But he didn't say that he was jealous of Kendrick Lamar himself. Like, he's not jealous of Kendrick Lamar himself. All right, let's keep it going.
When you think about everything that had took place before that, you know, when the beef had took place, you had Like That with Kanye West. And, you know, obviously he had that whole remix that people still bring up to this day, because it was just funny how Kanye had tried to insert himself in the beef.
You know, we had to get the hooligans up here. We're going to take this out. Yo, Dot, I got you.
So, when Kanye West had made this remix to Like That, a lot of people thought that Kanye was on Kendrick Lamar's side. He didn't like Drake. They've had recent beef in the past. They've had their ins and outs, whatever the case may be. But Kanye always had said that he didn't like Drake. And when Kendrick Lamar started to beef with Drake, Kanye was very, very open about not liking Drake and being forward with this song, saying that he got Kendrick's back. Yo, Dot, I got you. And now moving forward, fast forward.
Well, let's keep it real. He still don't like Drake. You know what I'm saying? He still don't like Drake. So that's not what he was getting at. That's why I think a lot of people got a lot of it. They interpreted it wrong. He's not saying that he liked Drake all of a sudden. He's not saying that. But let's keep it going.
Forward into the beef, he starts talking down on Kendrick Lamar. He starts acting jealous of Kendrick Lamar. And now at this point, it starts to be like if he wants a response from him, almost like he wants him to react to what he's saying online. Now, frankly, a lot of people have been saying online that they do not want to see Kanye and Kendrick Lamar go at it.
We don't want to see that at all. Kanye, you would lose.
They do not want Kendrick Lamar to bite the bait. At this point, everybody thinks that Kanye is rage baiting and is trying to get some type of response from somebody, especially Kendrick Lamar. In this new interview, he's openly stated that he is jealous of him. And it actually goes back to what everybody was saying when all of this started transpiring. He was cool with Kendrick Lamar at the beginning when there really wasn't a winner. Now that Kendrick is determined to be the winner and has claimed to be number one, that's when Kanye has a problem. And he explains that in the interview that he did, stating that this was all because he was jealous of Kendrick for saying that he was number one and being able to do what he couldn't do and beat Drake in the battle.
He didn't say that, though. He didn't say it like that, but hopefully he plays the clip.
And the way, as far as the way I feel, the way I'm expressing, I'm saying people want to be telling them they can't be. And anybody that ever went against me, and it's the other shit, I don't really have a problem with Kendrick. I would never call Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? I don't like what happened with the song and that whole idea. I don't like how they used Kendrick.
See, and that's the thing that people are kind of like, they're not taking that part in. They're just going straight to he's saying I was jealous of Kendrick. No, he's jealous that what he's jealous of, he's jealous that Kendrick was on the album, Playboy Cardi's album, and he wasn't. And I think that when it came to the Like That situation, he looked at that as a regular rap beef type thing. He looked at it as a regular rap beef. His issue was, if you watch the interview, his issue is, like he said, he feel like they used Kendrick to build up a whole different narrative about, even though Drake kind of did it to himself with the young girls and stuff, but that whole thing is like, now you're taking it like past, like it's going deeper now. And then when you seen the Grammys, and then everybody was singing it at the Grammys, then the Super Bowl, everybody's singing it, and all that type of stuff. I think he's looking at that like the powers that be are like trying to break something down. Like, this is not a regular rap beef. This is way bigger than that. And I think that's his issue. It's not Kendrick Lamar in the beef with Drake. I don't think that was ever an issue. I think he was actually cool with that. I think he liked it that. That's why he got on like that. But I think it's that whole thing, it's almost like he feels like the machine is trying to destroy another person. You get what I mean? In his eyes, in his words. But let's keep going.
That's right.
And what I don't understand about this part of the interview, he says, I don't like how they use Kendrick. But you basically use Kendrick when you remix Like That to insert yourself in this beef. And nobody paid attention to Kanye when he dropped this remix. At least I didn't. I know that this wasn't moving the crowd. Like That original is better as it is. And nobody cared about Kanye when he had brought himself up, when he tried to insert himself into beef. But that's what he did. He ended up using them so that way he could make himself the center of attention.
And also,
yeah, but that's a different kind of, that's not what he means. He means like a more serious, like a bigger scheme, the bigger scheme of things. It's not like just using them to jump on a record. Everybody was jumping on the records. Everybody was dissing. Everybody was, you know what I'm saying? He just wanted to get a piece of that too, because he don't like Drake. Let's not get it confused. He still don't like Drake. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like him saying he the number one because I'm the number one. So those are my two things.
People think that that's jealousy. They feel like even when you criticize the Super Bowl performance, you're like, man, I didn't like him on Cardi's album. He got too many verses. Like, yeah, he could rap, but we ain't want to hear this shit.
Y'all don't go to church? God is an angry God. God is a jealous God. What are you talking about? I'm the closest thing to God on earth, and I act just like how God acts. Like, I go up when people, whatever interview.
That's the stuff I don't agree with. All that extra stuff. I feel like that type of stuff is like fluff. But let's keep it going.
You did previous to the interview of this interview, I guarantee you it's going to be more of a blessing than the previous interview. So what does God do? Bless. God has used me to bless. John Legend, boom. Amber Rose, Kim, Travis, Cardi. You get what I'm saying? So whatever is here, the blessings run through me. But in that same way, I'm angry. I'm jealous. And now I can say all these people were the family that I never had, but North is my actual family. So give me one reason, please. Because before it's all jealousy is this and that, and now it's this far. So yes, I was jealous that Kendrick is on Cardi album, and I feel like that's two different genres. It seemed like
he made it very clear. He was jealous of the fact that he was on the album and he wasn't. He made it very clear. It's not like he made it very clear, like, he don't have no hate for Kendrick. He just hate the fact that he feels like the powers that be used Kendrick to break down Drake in a different way, like to break him down, to strip him from everything, to take his legacy away type thing. You know what I mean? He don't like that kind of stuff.
Cole and Kendrick would be more like, I like mixing genres and shit, but yeah, I'm jealous. Yeah, I'm hearing this shit for the first time. Yeah, I'm not on it. Yeah, this man rapping about Skims. It's like, what about all this shit where I said I duck with rappers? I was celebrities.
Like I said, he openly admits that
That's another thing. He said he don't mess with rappers and he don't like celebrities because he said in the beginning of the interview, he made it clear. He said they all kind of being used by the powers that be, the people that he's trying to taunt with his outfit on this interview. He says that they're all being used, you get what I mean, by these people. And he breaks it down. You guys got to watch the interview. It's long, and I don't know if I could really play it. So
he's jealous of Kendrick Lamar. And now it all starts to make sense because this interview, bro, everything else is just a whole bunch of rambling, a whole bunch of regurgitation of what he said previously online. The only difference is he's wearing a robe with it. So it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. But this was the part where I think he was being open. You know, he has that God complex where he likes to think of himself as such, even though I don't really look at him as that. But he says God is an angry God. God is a jealous God. You know, God is a blessing God. You know what I mean? Then he starts bringing out all these examples. But realistically, you're just showing signs of humanity, of being human. You're not really showing signs of having the God complex. You're just jealous, which is probably
yeah, I agree with that. You're just showing regular human feelings, not like all this like you trying to use God and stuff. You're just really showing human feelings. You feel a way because Playboy Cardi left you off the album. You feel a way about that, and that's fine.
the most horrible human trait to have. And whether you like to think of God as a jealous God, whether that be true or not, I don't think being jealous makes you more holy than the next man. And I think the other thing that I wanted to express here was that he's been on this tirade. He's been going crazy on Twitter, talking about Drake in a bad way, talking about Kendrick in a bad way, saying all these things about all these people. But realistically, he's just jealous, bro. And at this point, the hate is forced. At this point, the hate is obvious. And it's been obvious before this interview even came out. I don't really try to cover Kanye West and his antics because it's just so much mess and it's just a lot of stuff. But I wanted to point this out because this was a conversation that everybody has been talking about. Is Kanye doing all these things? Is he saying all these things because he wants to get a response out of Kendrick Lamar? He's openly saying that he's jealous.
I hope not. I hope not. I hope that's not the case.
But I feel like he's doing this because he wants to get some type of reaction. A lot of people feel like it's not worthy for Kendrick to even go at him. I don't even think it's worth it because what could Kendrick say to this guy that's going to help him or benefit either of them? Obviously, you could make money, but what's the purpose of going at Kanye West when he's going at everybody? He's not just going at Kendrick Lamar. He's going at Drake. He's going at Playboy Cardi. He's going at Frank Ocean. He named Jim Jones out of all people, like talking about a crypto scheme.
Anybody who used him, he feels like that used him or is being used by the powers that be, as he says, or the greater power. Anybody who's using them, he is mad at. That's what he's saying. He's mad at. And that's why in the interview he says they should be working for me. They should be working for me because it seems like if you really look at the interview as a whole, even though the way he's doing it is mad wild, he's basically saying how he wants like black people to come together and do their own thing. Because at the end of the interview, he says, yo, if I could see a black person have a rapper or whoever have a business with no body from a different ethnicity as an investor, if he could do that, if he could see that, then he'll shut up. Means the company is completely black owned type thing. If he could see that, then he'll shut up. He won't say anything. He won't do nothing. He won't wear the robe. He won't do none of that stuff. But his whole thing is that a certain group of people are capitalizing off our pain as a black people's pain, and he's trying to fight fire with fire, which I completely don't agree with because I don't think that's the way to get things done, but that's his way, and that's why he's doing what he's doing.
Like he's naming all these people. He's basically just telling everybody off. And at the end of the clip, he says he hates rappers. He doesn't like rappers. He dislikes rappers. And I think whatever mood you catch him in, he's going to talk good or bad about somebody. But since Kendrick has been on top this whole time, he's going to start to look at Kendrick like he looks at Drake. He starts looking at it with some despise. He starts despising him. He starts disliking him because he is taking the number one spot. So I think it's clear at this point, as long as somebody out there is better than Kanye West, he will make an enemy out of you. And what's crazy was because I think he also dissed J. Cole. And what was funny about the J. Cole diss, that he brought up False Prophets, which was a song that J. Cole had used to get at Kanye West and all these other rappers, the little whatevers, and then talking about a person that he had looked up to. Even way back then, I understood the message in J. Cole's song when he had talked about false prophets. And it's funny how Kanye had brought up that song. I feel like that diss still gets to him to this day, because why else would he bring it up? But J. Cole, if anything, man, he called out Kanye perfectly in that song. He called out his BS a long time ago. But
He did. That was a good song too.
Kanye's been on his BS since like 2013, bro. He's been doing all these antics for a really long time. They've just grown to the surface at this point. And honestly, you could have kept this interview vaulted, bro. Like, it's just a lot of rambling. I know there was a few things said, a few people mentioned, but like I said, bro, at the end of the day, if you heard this whole interview, his thoughts are everywhere, and it doesn't really end with a conclusion. There's not really any lesson learned here by the end of the conversation. They talked for a whole hour, and really from what I got from this was that Kanye is a jealous person. He's jealous of Kendrick Lamar as well as other people who surpassed him. He feels betrayed by people that he's helped because they don't condone his actions. When he starts acting like this publicly, they start distancing themselves or they start prepping themselves.
Okay, I'm gonna correct you there, Bill. It don't seem like he's mad that they're distancing themselves. It don't seem like he's mad that they're falling back. He don't like when they go and say it publicly. He don't like when they go against him publicly. That's what he don't like. And he actually breaks that down and gives an example about what happens. Like the Ty Dolla Sign. Like, he knew that he had to say something. And Kanye West and him talked about what he was going to say. And then he went and he said something different. And from Kanye West's words, he said that the powers that be came up to Ty Dolla Sign and told him, look, you better denounce Kanye West publicly, or I'm going to take Leon Thomas, who was Ty Dolla Sign's artist, and I'm gonna ruin his whole career. I'm gonna take everything. He can't get shows. He can't get nothing done. I'm gonna take everything away if you don't denounce Kanye. And Kanye don't like that kind of stuff. He don't like that because he feels like we don't need them. You get what I'm saying? He feels like we don't need them. And he's saying that y'all got me. I'm a billionaire. I'm canceled. I can say whatever I want and do whatever I want. If y'all all come work for me, when he says work for me, that's what he means, I think. If y'all all come work for me, we as a whole will be good. We don't need the other people. You get what I'm saying? We don't need the other people from the other group of people. It's what he's trying to say. But nobody's catching it like that. They catching it as like just from face value, you know?
Away from him. I wouldn't want to be near you, even if you help me drop a song, even if you help me make a beat, bro. I don't want anything to do with you if you're going to be talking like that. And which leads me to my next point. Do not let Kanye do a favor for you. It appears that if you let him do any type of favor for you, he will throw it in your face and remind you what he did for you. And those are the worst type of people to have around. And it's annoying trying to hear Kanye West trying to talk sense in this interview when clearly you're wearing a robe, which is the most ridiculous thing, right? You're trying to talk sense in this interview while wearing this robe. It's completely insane.
Exactly, and that's where you mess up the freaking message. You mess up what you're trying to say. You mess up what you're trying to do because you add these crazy antics to it. But let me know what you guys think, man. Did I give you a little bit more insight? Did you watch the interview? And if you did, what did you think? I think you should. I think you guys should watch the interview. I don't know if you should actually, but he made some good points in there, or some things that I understand. It's just the interview is very, like, crazy though. It's crazy, but like, comment, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, guys. Follow me on Instagram, Blingo for Vero. New subscriber goal is 150. I'm so happy we made it to 131. And if you like my clothes, shop veroclothing.net. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.